Hello, welcome to Aviva Studios. Today we're going to be talking about poetry. This video is going to be all about Emily Dickinson's work. The first one we'll go over is This is my letter to the world. This is my letter to the world that never wrote to me. The simple news that nature told with tender majesty. Her message is committed to hands I cannot see. For love of her, sweet countrymen, judge tenderly of me. I must admit I'm not a fan of Emily Dickinson. I think a lot of her work is boring. When I was in school, I read some of her poems. One of them was Hope is the Thing with Feathers. Not really interesting, didn't do much for me. I may have smiled at it a bit though. I don't really like this poem that much. It's got decent rhyming. I think at the end she tries to say that she wants her countrymen to treat her better, but it's written sort of strangely, so that message is hard to grasp. I'm not entirely sure what she means by the word nature. It could be the place that she resides in, or the place that's familiar to her, and in that way she's separating herself from the world. So there's a difference between the world that she's writing to and the place that she's in, which is nature. And in the second stanza, nature is sending out a message to the world so that the world will respect it, which means respecting the speaker. Which I think is the meaning of the words judge tenderly of me in the last stanza. So there's my thoughts of This is my letter to the world. Moving on. Okay, here's a famous one. My life had stood a loaded gun in corners till the day. The owner passed identified and carried me away. And now we roam in sovereign woods, and now we hunt the doe. And every time I speak for him, the mountains drape reply. And do I smile such a cordial light upon the valley glow? It is as a Vesuvian face had let its pleasure through. And when at night, a good day done, I guard my master's head, 'tis better than the eater's duck, deep pillow to have shed. To foe of his, I'm deadly foe, none stirred the second time, on whom I lay a yellow eye, or an emphatic thumb. Though I than he may longer live, he longer must deny, for I had but the power to kill, without the power to die. Sort of strange, this one. It speaks in the perspective of a literal gun that rests at its master's head at the end of the day. I've heard that the poem is mildly sexual, and that hunting the doe is like hunting for women, which is what guys do together sometimes, so the gun is like his best friend. The first line of this poem, my life had stood a loaded gun, is probably the most memorable thing Emily Dickinson has ever written. It was actually used in another really good poem that I really recommend called The Opposites Game. You can listen to the poem on TED-Ed. Here's one I really like. Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires sorest need. No one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory. As he defeated dying on whose forbidden ear, the distant strains of triumph burst agonized and clear. This one is awesome. I love the imagery it creates. I picture this soldier watching the other side win from a distance and feeling miserable. Every word in this poem is important. Every stanza is accomplishing something. The first stanza gives us the premise. Success is counted sweetest by those who ne'er succeed. The second stanza tells us about a battle, and the third one gives us a shattering conclusion. All the word choices are great. To comprehend a nectar, for example, and the last line, burst agonized and clear. And I love how this poem will always be relevant, because we all know what it's like to lose. And that's it. That's the poetry discussion. I don't have much to say about Emily Dickinson's poems, which is why I chose her, so that I can make the first video easy for me. I hope you enjoyed it a little.